Good afternoon, everyone. This is your girl, Bama Girl, and I've come to you with another edition of We the People. This morning, I had the opportunity to view Miss Gina's video called "Just Leave Me Alone." And Miss Gina, we the people want to know, why is it that you didn't have that "Just Leave Me Alone" spirit before you made that first video? What I can't believe is that you have the nerve to stand there and play victim. Ma'am, you're not the victim. You don't get to be the victim. You don't get to deflect. You don't get to cry on the inside because all that crying, honey, that face hasn't gotten wet yet. You don't get to do those things. And you sit there and act like it's attack Gina. And it is attack Gina. Gina's reputation is on the line. Gina's credibility is on the line because you have to keep in mind everything that's going on right now is self-induced. You came on live, did that under 3-minute video requesting $500, and in my opinion, that moment should have never taken place. I know that everything in your body wished that you could go back to the moment before you pressed that live button. I know it has to, because you did not anticipate this backlash. Us being us, did you think that you were going to be able to ask for that amount of money for that reason and there weren't going to be questions? If there weren't going to be anything else, there were going to be questions, because a lot of people that donated have genuine concern for the well-being of your son. But now you're turning the table talking about privacy. Why weren't you so worried about privacy initially? Now, $500 for an Uber or whatever you needed it for, that's not the point. Because really, if it was a matter of you getting there, you could have called a flight. Because by your own words, you fly for free. You said that your daughter is a flight attendant and you don't have to pay to fly, which would have been my first initial thing. If I got to get there, I don't have a car, and I can fly for free. Oh, yes, ma'am. This is the way that I'm going. And once I'm there, I would have called an Uber to the destination or whatever hospital I had to go to. But see, what you're doing is you're not keeping the story consistent. Let me tell you something. Because of the way that you presented it, don't now come back and act like we're the dummies and we overlooked key statements that you made. No, ma'am. Absolutely not. Let me tell you something. In my opinion, you have mastered the art of perception. Let me tell you. When I started school to become a mortician, my very first class, very first professor said to us, he said, you know what? In this industry, presentation is everything. Because to the naked eye, nothing is seen as it really is. So when you presented the entire situation, we're looking at the totality of it. Not the bits and pieces and every single word of it. No, man, we're not doing that. We're looking at the totality. And you knew that. And you played on everybody's emotions. And it was wrong. And now you want to sit back and deflect and bring up everybody else, every other thing that's happened on these YouTube streets that's bad, that have happened to other people. But let's talk about you, because at this point, your credibility is the only one that people are concerned with right now. Of course, yeah, now you just want people to leave you alone, but that's the spirit that you should have had initially. See, we would have never known that anything was going on had you not said anything. And one thing that you did say in your video that caught my attention, you said that you felt like it was a setup because Brother Jay should have told you that Fabe was going to call in so that you could be prepared. You weren't prepared. Let me tell you something about the truth, honey. When it's true, it needs no preparation. When it's true, It needs no preparation. None. Because you don't have to get ready to tell the truth. You don't have to get ready to answer all these questions just coming your way. You don't. You're going to run it off the tongue. That's just how it rolls. That's how the mind works. Because, see, you don't have to think about the truth, but what you do have to think about is a lie. And what other lie that you're going to have to tell to cover the first one up. And so on and so forth. That's just how it rolls. Now, you, my dear, you are definitely a work of art. You are. You are. Last night they asked a question on the gentleman's panel. If you could be a professor, which class would you teach on these YouTube streets? Honey, Deflection 101 will be your area. Oh, yes. Oh, yes, ma'am. Deflection 101. Now, I sat here and said all of that to say this. If you're not going to tell the truth about the situation, just stop talking about it altogether. Because the more videos you do, the worse you look. You don't need to come on and talk about everybody else's indiscretions and not address your own. You don't have to do that. Because in this moment, we could give a damn about anybody else's indiscretion, because at this moment, you're the one that's in the hot seat. You can't tell me that you don't see it. You cannot tell me. Oh, you see it and you feel it. Now, all I suggest is that you take a moment, sit down, and even if you were to come back and do a video and say, well, listen, this is what was going on. That was the situation. Yes, I may have shaded the truth a little bit, but I was in a situation and I knew that because you all care for me so much, you would look out. And they would understand that. They would. Now, the side eye is forever. Every time, you can't even mention money anymore on these streets. You just can't. You can't do it. I don't care what's going on. You can't do it, honey. This situation is what it is. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. No one wants to have this type of reputation. They just don't. But like I said, it was self-induced. Whatever the backlash, it should have been expected. You can't just ask us for money and not expect us to question it. You have a whole attitude about producing receipts. Ma'am, how? Why? If I know that me producing a receipt is going to shut everything up and everybody down, I mean, what's the problem? It should be no problem. You want to talk about privacy and this and that, honey? That's not a child. That's a grown man. Grown, fully grown. And if he had issue with it, I'm pretty sure he would love to know that he has a whole army praying for him. He would love to know that. He will be happy that his mom was able to be by his side because all these people cared for her and was concerned for him. You don't think that? He would love it. It would do my heart good to know that. Me being in that situation, it would do my heart good to know that so many other people cared enough for me and cared enough about my child to make sure that I could be there by his side. That's just the humanity in us. Come on now. Come on, you got to see it. You have got to see it. Let's just be honest with ourselves. Let's be honest with our supporters. And this will blow over in a matter of days. It's not a problem. Okay, family. See you in the next video.